Welcome to my test kitchen. My team and I are working on recipes with lentils, and today's a pretty special day for us because today is Bacon Day. Not that you would ever actually need a reason to cook lentils. I mean, they are one of the single healthiest foods that you can possibly eat. They're packed with a laundry list of nutrients. They're super easy to cook, and they're tasty. They've got this wonderful, warm, earthy flavor to them. But let's imagine that you are in some weird alternate parallel universe where you really do need a good reason to cook lentils. Well, I bring greetings from the bacon universe. Here's everything you need to make a hearty lentil dish that's founded on one simple concept. Bacon tastes awesome. And bacon always works well with other meaty flavors. And that's what lentils are all about. They're loaded with protein. They've got a hearty, earthy, meaty type flavor. So let's get started with the bacon. We actually have three things we've got to do to it first. We've got to cook it, render it, and crisp it. Does this ever happen to you when you're cooking bacon? You sort of end up with this pan where you've got a little bit of crisp over here, and it's still raw over here, and then it starts to burn over here, and things just don't go all that evenly in the pan? Well, there's a really easy way to fix that, and really all you have to do is just start with a big splash of water. Here's why this works so well. You really do have to do three things to the bacon. You have to cook it. In other words, you've got to take the rawness out of it. And then you've got to get the fat out of it. That's called the rendering step. And then, and only then, can the bacon crisp. So by using water, you even out the heat in the pan, and you make that process a lot easier because you can separate it into its distinct steps. That's what I'm talking about. Bacon love in a pan, baby. Perfection. In fact, who needs lentils? Just get a spoon and dive right on in. Look at all that flavor. Although this is a series about lentils, so maybe we'll stick to the plan. But before we add some lentils, it's time for some aromatic vegetables. Carrots, celery, and onions, the classic French trio of aromatic vegetables known as mirepoix. It's a great way to add a lot of flavor to a batch of lentils. Not that bacon lentils need a lot of flavor added to them, but I don't know, maybe the vegetables will balance out the bacon. And a little bit of garlic won't hurt either. The vegetables will actually do several things besides just flavoring the lentils. First of all, they're going to take the heat right out of the pan so the bacon doesn't burn. And secondly, they'll help to dissolve all those sort of little brown bits that end up in the pan as you brown bacon. They'll dissolve them and they'll end up flavoring the lentils like they should. No flavor left behind, not on my watch. At this point, all you really need to do is heat the vegetables through. We don't need to cook them for 20 minutes or anything like that. Just heat them through, brighten their flavors. There are actually 4 basic types of lentils, and all of them taste really good with bacon. We've got French Depuis, Beluga Black, Split Red, which are actually orange, and standard green lentils. So really, there's only 2 things you have to remember here. A, you can use any lentil at all with bacon, and B, 1 cup of lentils, 3 cups of water. Half a teaspoon of salt is all it takes to season 1 cup of lentils, 3 cups of water. At this point, the question is always, well, how long do they take? And of course, the answer is obvious: until they're done. So perhaps the question ought to be, well, how do you know when they're done? This will take, say, 20 minutes or so for the lentils to get tender. There's plenty of water in there. They're not going to overcook. They're not going to burn. And basically, right around the same time that they're done cooking and getting tender, they'll have absorbed the water. It's very straightforward, very easy to do. At this point, you have a few different flavor options, and herbs are one of them. So really what it comes down to is what type of herbs you have. If you've got dried herbs, now's the time to add them. Herbs like bay leaf, for instance, they need a little bit of simmering time. If you had dried herbs like, say, rosemary or thyme, they would also work well now. But if you have fresh herbs, save those till the end. You want to preserve that bright, fresh flavor, and the best way to do that is to stir it in at the end. So how do you know when the lentils are done? They're done when they taste done to you. I mean, basically, you're looking for flavor and tenderness. And boy, do we have both of those. In fact, now it's time to think about finishing flavors. One of my favorite fresh herbs is fresh tarragon. Now, of course, you could use thyme or rosemary, basil, oregano. Any other fresh herb could be stirred in right now. But there's just something about the sharpness of tarragon, this bright flavor that works so well with lentils and bacon. And speaking of light, bright finishing flavors, here's another lentil secret. Fact is, just about every single lentil dish benefits from a little bit of acidity added at the end of the cooking process. A touch of vinegar or a little bit of squeezed lemon juice, but never at the beginning. If you add acid to the lentils in the water in the beginning, the lentils won't cook through. They will never get tender. There's just a reaction that happens between the acid and the skin of the lentils. They won't get tender. But at the end, excellent idea. It really brightens up the earthiness of the lentils. And it doesn't take very much. The moment I've been waiting for. The lentils, of course. Or maybe the bacon. First of all, this tastes amazing. The bacon, the lentils, they work so well together. Lots of rich flavor. A little bit of brightness at the end there. But I can't quite tell whether the lentils are carrying the bacon or the bacon's carrying the lentils. And frankly, I don't care. It just plain tastes good. Today's lentils. Get them on your table.